Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am JayLee. This is JLeesCorner. This is my review for The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 13, Episode 1. Yep, 13 whole seasons, okay? But first things first, if you have not done so already, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel to become a whole JayBird, dun, 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 and all that goodness and stuff. I can't sing it as high anymore because it makes my throat itch or whatever. Anyway, do not forget to also like this video, comment in the comment section, hit the little share button, share it on your social media. Thank you very much. You can also follow me on IG and Twitter at J_Lees_Corner. All of that information is where in the description box below. Okay. Also remember to breathe it on out, okay, to inhale and to exhale, okay, to relax, to relate, to release, and to center yourself and anybody around you. Okay, so the episodes are back, okay? We are back. We all know Need Not Here. Boom, pow, pow. That's the only time we're going to bring up her name. She's out here, okay? So we see the ladies have like 2 looks in their confessionals already. So let's look at, those 2 things and whatnot, okay? So we have Kenya's second look. I'm going to these are the second looks, okay? We have Cynthia's second look. I'm going to the second look. And then Candy's second look. Now, Candy, I don't like your look at all. I don't like the hair. I don't like the jacket that shows all your titties. I don't mind the earrings, okay, but this don't go together, okay? I feel like with that kind of type, your top, your hair should have been pulled up for one, and it's too much tit, okay? It's like I just got the shower and this is my robe and I'm trying to air dry look, and I don't like it. I don't manage your makeup and your face is fine or whatever, but I don't like the, 1950s, 1960s mod type ponytail with a little swoosh, and I don't like the bathroom robe or the tits out and whatnot. Cynthia looks her usual bronze goddess self. I wanted her to do something a little different. Okay, but we're gonna leave it there be. She don't have as much tit out in this particular photo. We're gonna leave it there be. But Cynthia to me also looks washed out because it's all so golden. It's not a bad thing. It's just, it all just matches. Okay. Kenya, I know exactly what you were going for, and I like it, but I also don't like it because it's so different than what she usually do, and I don't know if that's a wig or her hair, because we know Kenya has a whole bunch of hair. It could be both. It could be part her hair and part wig. I don't know. But this whole, again, I don't not like it, but I still feel like, I like the makeup, but I still feel like, So again, it is what it is, but those were half of their looks, okay? Now, Portia did not have 2 looks, so y'all gonna see her on the one. So we see how each lady is arriving to do glam for their interviews or whatever. Okay, so first up we had Kenya. I like this look, okay? I like the way, the curliness of the hair. I like the simpleness of the makeup, how you can kind of see the yellow eyeshadow as well to match the yellow dress, okay? Now, she brings up how, we can't do anything because they had each lady speaking about, like, how things are different now that it's COVID and they're doing their interview looks, masks and all that stuff or whatnot. They're addressing the elephant in the room. So, Kenya again said, we can't do anything or whatever. It's like we can't go anywhere. We can't, or if we do, we have all these rules or whatever. It's almost like being in prison. And it was very, kind of depressing for me. It was tough for me to deal with that. I prefer this look over the other one because the other one, to me, not to be, funny, I felt like it was a costume more than anything else. I feel like that's not a typical confessional look from anyone. But again, I prefer this look. That's just my opinion or whatnot. Now, we then see Cynthia, okay? This is Cynthia's first look. A whole bunch of tits, okay? Tits all up and through. I'm not, girl, some golden, like if you burnt the toast a little bit, and it's golden brown. She got golden brown boobs. The blondness of the hair, I don't mind this look. Okay. It's a lot of boob. It's a whole lot of boob. Okay. Now she brings up how like the world is kind of stopped. Okay. And now no one's leaving their homes, and it's just like everything is at standstill. But then when George Floyd and Breonna Taylor happened, people's like, you know what? Nope, we got to hit these streets. We then see, like cell phone footage of her and them out there protesting and marching and whatnot. Okay, boom, pow, pow. We then have Candy. Again, a lot of tit from Candy, but I like this look. The hair I could do with or without the purple and the blue of it all or whatnot. I like the style of the hair, not much the color. The color to me kind of clashes with the suit jacket. If the hair was a bit lighter, it would have matched the jacket to me, or if it was just black or brown, I don't know. But anyway, I like the simple makeup. And I love this suit jacket. This looks much better than the other one. This looks more put together. The other look looked like, we have to do something or whatever in the middle of COVID or whatnot. Let's put something together that can just be what it is. This one looked like, no, this is a planned and executed look, and I do like it. But she brings up again, the world was turned upside down, the whole pandemic, the social injustice against us all or whatever. It was all happening at once. And her having, me having a black son, it had me wonder, like, how can I protect my son to, not get caught up in this, be like the wrong place at the wrong time, or be a victim of what we are all going through right now. Okay, and then we have Portia. Okay, this is Portia's look the whole time. I don't know if Portia just, I'm surprised she didn't have more than one confessional look, but maybe they just didn't play it for this particular episode because of what she was discussing and whatnot. So Portia brings up how, I was just pissed. I was pissed at everything that was currently happening to my people. Okay, and we had to yell loud and proud, no justice, no peace. It's time to get busy, period. And we then see cell phone footage and this footage in general of Portia out, protesting for Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and everybody else that we are still trying to get justice for, whatever. But again, we see that this season is going to be different than any other season because they are allowing what's really going on in the world to be broadcast and covered this season. And I love it. Okay, absolutely love it. Okay, we then see they had Cynthia house and whatnot. So Cynthia is planning a little, outside lunch for her friends and whatnot. Now she's back in Atlanta. She brings up how she was in LA for 4 months, basically stuck in LA because of the whole pandemic with Mike. And she's happy to be back at Lake Bailey. She brings up how, me and Mike being stuck together, like it was tough. Because again, being with somebody every day, all day, even when you are married or a couple or live with someone, y'all still can go to work, leave. You can have some space between shit. No one had space those first 4 months. You were just like, I can't go anywhere. I can't, what I'm saying? So it was tough or whatever. But again, they doing good now because we know they're not married. So we then see Candy is pulling up or whatever, and she brings up, how the quarantine was kind of crazy for me too. Riley turning 18, about to go to college. It was good for us to be all up under one roof for these months to kind of have it just be us because again, Riley finna leave and whatnot. Okay, me and Marlo pulls up. Okay, like Marlo pulled up and she pulled up with thermometer. I need to take y'all temp. She had a whole little face mask on. It was funny. But Marlo was Marlo. So the three ladies, where they at? Boom, pow, pow. Were, outside of Cynthia's place. She put like a whole table outside, had them spaced out or whatever. It was cool. They were sitting down, chitting, chatting. Girl, Cynthia boob kept popping out. Marlo like, I want to see your boob and whatnot. Marlo said, I've never seen your nipple. Let me see. I'm like, leave her nipples alone. And they then have nipple talk. I'm like, I'm not gonna have nipple talk. So they sit down or whatever, and they bring up how what Portia's been doing is amazing. being on the front lines protesting or whatever, because Portia wasn't around this episode. Just it was all the footage from, because she was gone protesting at this point in time. Marlo called Portia Luther King. I said not Portia Luther King. But she brings up like, we need her, so we does a great thing what she doing, but I'm hoping she don't get into no trouble. Well, if she do, it'll be some good trouble and whatnot. Okay, so they then bring up Kenya, and both Cynthia and Candy say, well, Candy said, I haven't talked to her that much in like the past month or whatever. Cynthia said, when I have talked, like she just sounded kind of sad or whatnot, like not like she's like her baby hurting in pain, but like something's up with her. So they FaceTime her or whatever, and it's a bad connection. I can't hear y'all. What? And then the phone hangs up. I'm like, I think Kenya was lying, okay? But don't these three look? Marlo looks amazing, even in the simplicity of her outfit. She's gorgeous, okay? But so is Cynthia, and so is Candy. But again, I'm happy to see Marlo on the show, getting along and not being a character or a sidekick to other people and whatnot. So again, Marlo was an official friend of the show. I like it. Anyway, we then see Kenya on her way, leave her house. She's on the phone with her friend Brandon, bringing up how being stuck at home was like a burden. I was eating nonstop and I gained 30 pounds. Now, you can see in her face that she gained some weight, but Kenya always looks gorgeous. Boom, pow, pow. So we see she gets to her lawyer's office. Where is it at? It's right here. I love that purse. Love it. Okay, now it's been smushed up a little bit. I'm like, girl, store your purse is better. But again, she's visiting her attorney to discuss the whole thing. I have another picture of her face so we can see her. So, and I'm not being shady. That's her face. Okay, don't you come out. Kenya fans, don't do that. Anyway, so she is trying to discuss the difficulties between her and Mark. Okay, she's like, we've been married for 3 years, but we've been separated for 10 months. At first, the separation. So we see the flashback footage of the party that happened before when he was all mad or whatever, he left. So again, that was 10 months ago. So they've been separated ever since then. And she brings up, well, at first we was kind of getting better. We were in counseling or whatever. We were able to take, steps to be in a better place. But then COVID happened and things got worse. Mainly because his restaurants took a hit having to close down because of COVID. And his restaurants were in New York. And New York shut everything down. So I think it may have affected him like instantly, and it was quite a hard hit or whatnot, especially if all your income is strictly from restaurants and bars, because it's one thing you have like one restaurant and then you have 8 other businesses that can still have possibly operated differently or whatever. He had like all restaurants. So she brings up how because that happened, he was mad and upset or whatever, so he would take out his frustrations on her, just not treating her well, not speaking to her well or whatever. It is being a mean ass husband. And the lawyer asked, well, did y'all have a prenup? You know what I'm saying? She's like, well, no. So she brings up how she bought a car during the marriage and everything, and how she gave him that car. I was like, you did what? For what? Go put it in. I'm gonna leave that be or whatnot. She also brings up, I paid for my house. I paid for my house in cash. So that's something that he should not be able to take. She's trying to figure out, if we get a divorce, what could he ask for, during the divorce that can possibly go to him. The lawyer brings out, well, because y'all was only married for 3 years, like, a judge will probably not even ask for you to give up half your assets to him or whatever. But, the issue of child custody could possibly come up. So, does Mark spend any time alone with the little girl to where he has like multiple days or overnight or whatever without Kenya? And she says no, when he's in Atlanta, of course he's there with her, but when they're in New York, the fact that she said when we are visiting him in New York, he stays with us while we stay at a hotel. I'm looking like, how do you not stay at his house? How can your wife come to town with your child who's 2 or less or whatnot, and y'all at a hotel, girl? Bye. Anyway, he don't spend no time with the little girl on his own. It's always with Kenya. So that's good. That means the judge would not try and give him custody of a child that he does not have on any kind of regular basis. Kenya still don't know at this point in time if she wants to file for divorce or if she wants to have some kind of custody, situation in place. But she know that she wants to have a custody agreement in place before she files for divorce. But she hasn't done either or at this point in time. So we then see the cameras leaving, whatever, because the meeting is over. But, audio still rolling up whatnot. And the lawyer is telling her, like, you can't be out here, like, being so hard on yourself because of him. Like, I'm saying, you can't look at his failures as your failure. Like, if he failed, that's his failure. It's not yours or whatever. You need to get your fight back. Even he realized Kenya is just like, it's like she's defeated already. And I'm like, why are you still, girl, you can do better. Fuck that man, girl. Because I feel like if in 10 months he can't, I'ma stop. Because I think they better now, but I'm looking like, what made him get better all of a sudden, girl? Maybe your house. He want that house. Anyway, we then see at Candy's house. Candy and Riley and Ted, Todd and little Ace is outside. Oh, baby Blaze too is outside. Watching Riley's car. Riley's leaving for college soon or whatever, and Candy's bringing up how expensive college will be. So Riley would have to be on a budget because again, college will be more expensive than your school now, and what I'm saying, things could possibly get tight because again, it's COVID, so it's gonna be that. Now let me say this, okay? Riley had a nose job. Okay, I'm just want to address it and leave it at that. So Riley, before, I think she was gorgeous. I think her face looked perfectly fine before. Okay, but Riley went and she did get a nose job. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. She just literally looks different. Sometimes people get nose jobs and you get it to where it's like not really noticeable. And I think because hers was so noticeable, it was like, what? Wait, what? And she just looks different. She likes her new nose. That's what matters. But I'm like, I didn't want to not address it. I feel like having Riley pop up on the scene with this new nose and not addressing them, looking like we know she had surgery. She did, and if she like it, I love it. But I mean, I didn't see an issue with her old nose. But again, it happened. It was what it was. People have to do what works for them and whatnot. Anyway, back to them chit-chatting. Riley feels like, okay, if you saying that college is expensive or whatever, and I have to be in a budget, I feel like my father, who has never done much for me, I'm saying, should be providing something for me since I'm now going to college. Candy spoke on her Speak on It show, whatever, how Riley was the one who said, you should go after him for the child support he has not been paying. And so that's why Candy then filed paperwork to get the back child support. Now again, Candy's rich, yes. But as Candy brought up on her Speak on the show, the baby daddy Block also has money. Like he's not, poor and whatnot. Like he has money like she does and whatnot. And she brings up how, back when Riley was in like 4, they went to court for child support. But then 10 years ago, he just stopped paying. Like he was paying, he just stopped. So he currently owes about $100,000 in back child support. So Riley feel like I should be able to get that money, and it should be what I'm using while I'm in college. Because again, he hasn't done shit in all these years and whatnot. And I'm like, that makes more sense. Now, Candy also brought up on her Speak on It how Block feel like, oh, they're using me for a storyline. And she brought up how, well, no, that isn't true. When I was on the show first, I didn't bring him. I made sure to not let anyone know who he was. Like the people in my life knew. Of course, the people in Atlanta knew. But like on the big scheme of, Housewives fans, they did not know. She's like, it was not until Block himself came on the show a couple seasons later that people then figured out who he was. She also brought up how she did not ask him to come on the show, how producers, Carter King, kind of popped him up on the show, and Block agreed to come on the show. So she's like, you can't say that I'm using you for a storyline where I never made it known who you were until you made it known who you were. So anytime we speak on you, it's your fault that people know who you are. I agree. We didn't know who he was. We had heard things, but no one seen him or knew who he was until he came on the show. So that's on you. And she also brought up how she filed the paperwork months before they were filming, so she didn't, file it to hope for that to be a part of the show. Boom, pep. But I feel like fuck that. He owed back child support, $100,000, and I want my money. Now she do bring up how it's gonna be drama, because he's drama. She brings up how he already texted me, like kind of calling me a broke bitch for filing paperwork to get back child support or whatever. So they be beefing back and forth. They're not the best communicators. We're gonna leave that be too. Riley feels like well, he owes me this money or whatever. And so she asked her, like, if your dad pays his back child support, would you be open to, like, having any kind of relationship with him? And she was like, well, 4 years ago he came around and whatnot, and he still didn't really come around. You know what I'm saying? Meaning he came around for the show and then did not follow up with that or whatnot. And also how he's a bum father to me and not really the same way with his other children. So it kind of rubs me the wrong way. And I like how Todd brought up how Riley will only get comfortable with him if he like put forth an effort to get to know her or whatever. It'll be based on his actions. He brings up how when I was trying to get close with what's his daughter's name? Kayla. I had to make sure to put the work in and put the effort in because she's my daughter. Block needs to genuinely try to connect with her, and that's when Riley kind of opened up and stopped being so closed off. Ken's like, I just feel like Riley is really hurt that her dad is like a deadbeat, and she just doesn't want to fully admit it, on camera. I think we can see that Robbie be like, fuck him. But we're gonna leave that be too. We then see at Kenya's house. So Kenya and Cynthia comes over. Kenya is having a whole lot of work done to her home. Well, at least the outside of her home. The fact that she has this much extra space in her backyard, she has a lot of property. Okay, that was a good buy for her because again, that's her backyard. Okay. Anyway, she's having a play area being built for what's her damn daughter name? Brooklyn. She's having a pool being put in and also jacuzzi area put in all within the back and side of her house and whatnot. She brings up how Mark never wanted a pool. She say, but he don't live here, so I'm getting a pool. And I'm like, girl, get a pool, a jacuzzi, a moat, get it all. So they go in the house to chit-chats, and they bring up this, wine and chit-chat and whatever. Candy brings up how it's been tough not having help around her house because, again, her maids or cleaning people or whatever can't come because COVID. So she's having to do housework, folding clothes. I'm not, girl, trust me. Look, laundry sucks, okay? So I completely get her saying how, having to do my own laundry sucks. I hate laundry, okay? I will buy new clothes instead of doing laundry. I'm gonna leave that be. Anyway, Kenya brings up how I got a new nanny or whatever, and that is working out too. But she then gets on the issues with her and Mark, and I was just not treating her well or whatever. Now Cynthia brings up I don't like how he talks to you. I just don't like that, and I don't think he even sees an issue with how he treats you, and that's the fucked up part about it. And Candy brings up how you should not be the one reaching out to him or whatever for him to see you or the baby, because she brought up how when she went out to New York, how he, was an asshole or whatnot. She brings up, y'all have been separated for 10 months. Like, it's not a good thing that y'all have been separated for that long of a time, and he's still kind of, forcing you to be the one to reach out to make things better. And, she brings up, well, I got married for better or for worse, so I just don't know what to do. They're like, girl, you have gave this your all, okay? You have gave it all that you could give, meaning you need to leave Mark alone. I do not feel like a marriage, it should be about staying for better or for worse when the husband is always the worst to you. You're not in my house, not on my watch or whatever. Okay, we then see over at Cynthia's house or whatnot. Okay, her and Mike sitting around chitting chatting. Okay, we both see Mike has maybe gained a pound or two. He brings up how Cynthia's ass has gotten bigger, and he loves it. He then brings up how they was having sex in L.A., and because all the kids were there, they had to be quiet. So Cynthia had to moan, like, under the pillow, and he was like, he imitated. I'm like, first of all, it is so embarrassing for anybody to imitate how you sound during sex. It's just weird and whatnot. It's like, it's Mike, stop. I'm not gonna imitate it either, but it was funny. Anyway, they chit chatting about how stressful it is to have to plan this wedding, which they wanted to be, 10/10/2020. Now at this point in time, it was like sometime in June. So they had like 4 months to do it. But again, it's these restrictions of, you cannot have more than 50 people, at an event. And Cynthia, like, well, we have, 250 guests. And Mike is being like, just rational. Like, you know what? If we can only have 50 people, we can have the 50 people, and then later on, when we can have a bigger wedding, we can then do that later. That's logical. When you have a thing where you can't have this big whatever, still have your ceremony with the restrictions or whatever, and then do something different later. She brings up, well, I was married the first time. It was tough. I don't have many happy memories of the actual wedding day and things leading up to the wedding. No, because Peter was broke. Her mom and sister stole the marriage license. It was bad, okay? It was bad and whatnot. So she feels as if, I want this perfect wedding day with all the people there. I want it to be this big, big moment. And he like, I get that. But we have to be safe. It's about keeping people safe. She then said, well, if the restrictions are not lifted by 10/10, then we should just change the day of getting married, because I don't want, to get married on that day if I can't have it what it's going to be. So if the people can't be there, we shouldn't get married. Like, why, like, what are you talking about? Like, why would you want to move the date just because of how many people can be there? Like, do you want a marriage or a wedding? And I think people hear that and get a feel like, well, I just want what I want. If you want to get married, then get married. If you want a wedding, then have a wedding without me. I would feel the same way. So we then see Portia. Portia, of course, is flying. Portia's thing was pretty easy. It was Portia, the whole episode, they kept showing Portia protesting everything. They then show her going to Kentucky to protest or whatever. It was her dentist or whatever. We see her tell how she speaks highly of her grandfather, who was, a big civil rights person or whatever, and how she's like, I've said some things that were done before. I didn't get it until I was older and became a mother and kind of grew up and educated myself. And I then got it of what he was doing all that time back then. Even though I seen it and I was around it, I didn't really get it until now, whatever. And, it's just the dumb things I've said. Like, I just know I've grown past that point. She brings up how while protesting, like, it was different locations that they were protests at, but no one knew, like, the next place they would go to because they did not want anybody tipping off the police. And so we then see that the next place they were going to was the Attorney General's home. Okay, and that was where they were peacefully protesting and whatever. And we see all the cell phone footage of people being arrested. Of course, Portia being arrested. And that was when it was on the news. I talked about it or whatever. Portia was arrested. Tamika Mallory was arrested. It was a lot of people. It was, I think, 87 people that was arrested or whatever. So again, that was Portia's whole piece. Was her protest, which is great. Love it. Okay. But again, I think it's all stuff that we've covered up before and our little gossip stories or whatever. But we had seen the footage. But hearing Portia speak on it was amazing because she's showing how tough things have been and how she's like, I'm ready for it or whatever. And then we see her being arrested. She was in jail for like 13 hours, her along with 87 other people. And then when she got out, she brings up how the jail was dirty. You know what I'm saying? And it was like 30 women in one cell or whatever. And the biggest thing that she took away from that was, I'm going to do it again. And then it goes off. So I liked the premiere. I think it was great. I think it was an introduction about where each woman is, like, right then in that point in time. So we will see what happens the next episode. Gotta go. Peace.